I'm really excited to get to come to China again. I'm going to be there on November 24th for the finals of the Little Stars singing competition. I just couldn't be more excited to get to see these kids start their journey in entertainment and get to chase their dreams. And this is exactly the type of competitions I started in before I began acting on Growing Pains, and I'm just really excited to see where this takes these kids. Before any audition, before any part, even before I'm about to go out on camera, if I'm on set and I'm actually going to go out and film, I know it's funny, I know it's ridiculous, but I will get up and I'll do jumping jacks. And I'll jump around and shake my arms and shake my face. And so I want you guys to jump around and get crazy for a few minutes. Just trust me. Don't worry about it. We're going to look goofy. We're going to look silly. It's okay. Just to loosen you up. Please don't injure yourself. I'd rather you help it, but try and loosen up a little bit. All right, do me a favor. Shake your face. All right. There's two reasons we do that. One is you just want to loosen up all your muscles, and two, you want to loosen up your mind. You don't want to be thinking about it too much. You just want to be able to relax and have fun doing what you're doing, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is the first thing you know, and I know it seems really simple, but the first thing you got to learn when you're going on auditions is called the slate. Have any of you done a slate before? Okay, a slate is when you come into an audition, they will have a camera there usually. They'll ask you to stand in front of the camera, and they'll ask you to state your name, your age, and then if you have, they were showing you how to slate? Awesome. Okay, that's perfect. I want to make sure you guys know how to do that. Well, we can do it now just to try it out, but that's the first thing they're going to ever ask you to do, always, when you go on an audition. Yeah, that'll be the first thing. So I want you to, girls, I want you to try this. Come here for a second. Felix is going to try it for me first, okay?
Yeah, go.
So I'm going to be the camera. You're going to step up. Well, we'll do it this way. So I want the whole class to see you. Okay? So you step up, and you state your full name, and you state your age. So I'll give you, you want to do it with a nice big smile, and you want to be nice and friendly. So it's kind of like, hi, I'm Jermey Miller, and I'm 42 years old.
What?
Yeah, I'm old, I know.
My mom's that old. 14. Hi, my name is Felix. My age is 9. After 7 days, I'm going to be 10. Bye-bye.
There you go. That's actually a pretty good slate. You don't want to walk away.
But I'm Eleanor.
But that's a good slate.
I'm like, bye-bye.
That's good. You want to show them your personality.
Bye-bye.
So, anybody else want to try it? I know it seems really simple, but it's important because it's the first impression you're making of them. It's the first thing they see with you. So 1 second, I'll give it a try, and then you can try, and then you can try. So it's real simple. Just your name and how old you are. 1 second.
Hi, my name is Ashley Bayoung. Today I am 9 years old.
That was perfect. Good smile. Nice and loose. See? That's perfect. That's why we loosen up.
Get away from me!
I know it seems simple, but it's the first thing they remember about you, so it's important, especially when you're a kid. But even at 40, I still have to do this.
1, action!
Just say your name and how old you are.
Hi,
Felix, just a nice big smile.
Hi. Hello.
Good.
Today, this is, I forgot.
It's okay. It's okay. Start over. I want you to take 1 step up, look up right into my face, and just say, I am Eleanor Ang, and I am...
Hello, I am Eleanor Thanks, and today I'm 7, and next year I'm 8, and my favorite thing to do is dance and sing goodbye.
That's very good, sweetie. And when you do it, make sure you're looking right at the camera. That's the only thing you got to remember. Do you want to try, sweet? Then we'll have you do next, Sarah, okay?
Hi, my name is Felix. I'm 12 years old.
Awesome. Good smile, too. The more you can just loosen up. I was so nervous whenever I went on auditions when I was you guys' age. And once you can get past that and be loose and fun like this when you go on auditions, that's the stuff that they'll remember.
I like to go first because it's walking all over you.
I agree. All right, where's Derek? Come here, buddy. All right, just take a step up, look me right in the face like I'm a camera.
Hello, my name is Derek and I'm 9 years old.
Awesome. Make sure you smile nice and big for him, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Hi, my name is Amy. I'm 10 years old.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, I know it's simple, but that's important. Try and remember that. When you walk in, you might be nervous, okay? Standing in front of people you don't know can make you a little nervous sometimes. Just take a deep breath. Look them right in the eyes, or in this case, look right into the camera, and just smile. And that's what they'll remember about you, okay?
I remember smile.
Nice. So,
And he did a split. He's like, "Whoa." Go down.
one of the most important things
Go down.
for kids when they're acting, when you're younger and you're acting, the most important thing you can do is be yourself, is to be a kid. Okay? A lot of people get nervous, so they get quiet when they come in and they do their audition.
Not me.
Good.
Not me either.
But they get, they get nervous, so they get quiet, or they'll try and rush through their lines and stuff when they give you your script. And they'll try and read it too fast because they just want to get done. Remember, this is your chance to make them remember you. You don't want to rush it. You want to take your time. Okay? Absolutely. I want you guys to sit down with me for a second. If you'd really like to. My voice carries, you'll be fine. So, here's the thing, that's a little confusing. Acting is really about listening, okay? It really is. The most important thing in acting, in all acting, when you're a kid, when you're older, it's listening. It's learning to really listen to the emotions and the things that the person is saying to you with the lines. Your line and your actual words aren't as important as how you respond to what they're telling you. Now let me give you an example. Now, if I was to say to you, "Hi,"
Hi.
there you go. But if I walked into the room and I went, "Hi," you'd probably have a different response, right? Because my personality and what I was saying to you was different, even though it was the same word, right?
That looks like a tiny microphone.
It is a tiny.
Oh.
So you have to listen to what they're trying to tell you with what they're saying, so you know how to respond. And you don't have to fake it. You don't have to come up with some weird thing. When you're reading a script, or if you're looking over your lines, think about how you would respond if someone actually said that to you. How does it make you feel when they say that to you?
Could you try it to me?
Yeah, we can absolutely try it.
Yeah.
Okay? I want to try a little exercise. You and I are going to try it, okay?
It's no fair.
A few of us will try it, trust me. Me and Wayne are going to try it.
I'll try it. I'm not trying it.
So, what we're going to do is you and I are going to stand up, and we're going to say the same word, okay? So, I'm going to say hello.
Hello.
Your response, listen to how I say it, and then respond. I will listen to how you say it to me, and I will respond. We won't say anything but hello,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
But if you're really listening to how I'm saying it, the way we say it back and forth to each other will tell them a lot, okay? Let's give it a try.
Go Felix.
All right. Hello.
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 Hello. There we go. That was a great reaction. We're still only supposed to use the same words, but because you were getting confused, it was, what are you, that was how you should respond. That was natural, right? You didn't know what to do.
What? He said, what?
Exactly, he said what? Because he didn't know. That was natural. He didn't think, oh, I should say this, it's going to be funny. You see what I'm saying? He just reacted to what I was saying. That's what you want to learn to do. You can have a whole conversation with the emotions you put behind your words, saying nothing but the same word over and over and over. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, it's very, very much just like if I walked in a room and I said, hi, well, your response would be probably a pretty cheerful hi. But if I walked in and I'm all grumpy and I'm all mean, I look around at all of you, I'm like, hi. Exactly. Your response probably wouldn't be all cheery and cheerful and, hey, how you doing? So that's the kind of thing, that's what you need to learn to do when you're working on your life.
Unless it's your cat walks in hard.
If your cat says hi, I'll be impressed.
Like, what if there's a very cheerful person? Like, even though when a person come in like, hi, what if they're like, oh, hi.
Some people just happen to be like that. And if that's their real response to that, and it's natural, then it's okay. But, come sit down for a second. But, you see how you had to think about it and come up with that response. Then if you have to do that, that's not a natural response. And it doesn't come off as good or as real on camera, okay? So that's why you want to be able to listen really carefully to the emotion and the meaning that people are giving you. Now, let me give you a tip on memorizing your lines. When you get sides, if you have an audition or if you have a little part in a play. Here's the trick. I found that not saying it helps. Write it down over and over and over. If you can print, great. If you can't, have your parent type it out with you, or you can read it with them over and over. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to say it over and over too many times, because our minds tell us that it should sound like this. If I was saying this, it should sound mad, or it should sound sad, or it should sound happy. But if you work on getting all the lines memorized without any emotions, then you can actually respond naturally with real emotion to what they're saying to you.
Hey, what you doing, girl?
Yeah, but it's how you would really respond to it. If your brain already knows all the words, then you can really listen to them when they're talking to you, and you can respond with your real feelings and your real responses. That is what makes some of the best actors and actresses. It's being able to be real like that and give a real emotion back to the person that you're working with. So if you guys can do that, practicing that, learning your lines without putting any emotion was something that took me a real long time to learn. But if you do that, it's a good way to learn to remember your lines without putting any emotion. And then you're able to, like I said, learn to respond to what people are giving you when you're acting with them. Now, I've done lots of roles with really, really wonderful actors. And if you can teach yourself to listen to them, to really listen to them, and what they're trying to tell you with each line that they're giving, you can have some great moments. I've been in the middle of scenes with people, and this is not, patting me on the back or saying how great I am. I'm just saying that when you can get to that point where it's that real. I've been in the middle of scenes with people where me or the person I'm working with just breaks into tears because the emotion of that scene was so strong and what we're talking about was so powerful to us. And I mean, just in the middle of a scene, tears start welling up. And if you can get to that point where you're really just listening to someone else, you're going to be ahead of the game. You guys are going to be miles ahead of the kids who are auditioning against you. That's the truth. The more you can get comfortable with your lines, memorize the heck out of them. Now, I was really, really lucky. it was easy for me to memorize things. But if you just rehearse them, write them down, type them out. Like I said, if you can't write yet, read them with whoever's reading them with you just as quick as you can, until your brain just automatically remembers them. That way, if I am doing a scene with you and I turn to you and I say, you know, hey Benny, wouldn't you rather be out here waxing the car with your big brother?
Of course.
See, that's a good natural response.
Of course.
No.
You, being a girl who's not interested in hanging out with your brother because you told me brothers stink, had a natural response. Your natural response was no. That was awesome. You, on the other hand, that sounded pretty good to you, huh? So you had a natural response to
I
that.
have a sister, but she hates me.
I doubt she really hates you, trust me.
I have
Go
like
away.
5 cousins.
What?
Yeah.
If I had him as a brother, he'd be locked up, flushed down the toilet.
Oh yeah.
Well,
So-
That's
then,
true.
then before you do that, I already punched the heck out of you.
Let's get back to what we're doing next. So, really being able to listen, I mean, it sounds simple, it sounds basic, but
It's hard.
it is.
It's really hard.
Nowadays, our minds are kind of trained to already be thinking about our response when someone's talking to us. You know, if you notice, think about it sometime when you're talking to one of your friends, or if you're talking to your parent, or you're talking to a family member.
Yeah.
Pay attention to your thoughts when they're talking to you. I bet you'll notice that when they're saying something to you, you're already thinking about what you're going to say back.
Like, how rude are you to say that?
Well, but that's the thing, is if you're already thinking about what you're saying, you're not listening. So you have to really watch out for that when you're rehearsing, so that you can really listen and respond. Like I said, I know I'm repeating it a lot, but it's the most important thing that you can do as an actor or an actress. It's to listen and respond. And when you're kids and all they want you to do is be kids, that's what they want to see. When you're auditioning for roles, they want to see kids your age and they want to see how they act. They don't want somebody faking it. They want somebody being a real kid.
Like me.
Yeah. So the more you can teach yourself to relax, the more you can loosen yourself up before you go in, the more you can be aware of your thoughts when you're talking to them or you're rehearsing your lines. Try and watch out for, I'll give you an example. When I'm sitting there rehearsing my lines, or if I'm trying to memorize my lines, oftentimes I will, in my head, I'll hear myself saying, oh no, he should be more upset, or he should be more happy. Well, I don't want that, right? I don't want to have any prejudgment of to how I should respond.
Angel devil.
Now, exactly. But I had a scene with a guy that was supposed to be very dramatic, very, very powerful. And he had made up his mind that he was going to do this scene in a certain way. And he wasn't listening and responding to what I was giving him. And it made the scene very awkward.
What? Awkward.
Like
awkward,
what?
Awkward means, well, this is a scene where he
Awkward
was
means
supposed
like when you're in the bathroom, someone walks in.
Kind of, yes. I'll give you an example. What had happened was I was staying with him in a big mansion, and he went out of town, and I threw a big party with all my friends, and they came over and they trashed his house. So the scene is, he's supposed to come home and get all upset with me, right? Like you had a $10 million house, and you came home and saw that people had destroyed half of it. Don't you think you'd be pretty ticked?
Yes. Totally.
You'd probably be yelling, huh?
Like my grandma.
That's what I mean. You'd probably be yelling. You'd probably be pretty angry at him.
Like my grandma.
Well, for some reason, he had made the decision that he was going to just come in and be calm.
He's like, oh.
So he's saying all these lines about how in trouble I am and how I have to get out of his house, but he's not getting angry. And it didn't work. I mean, it didn't make any sense for the scene. So I was trying to lead him to anger. As an actor, I was trying to give him some aggression and some, get a little like defiant with him. Where he's telling, defiant means when you're
Like-
kind of like when your mom tells you to do something and you don't want to do it, so you go do something, you go do the opposite.
Yeah.
That's defiant. So I was trying to act like a kid who was defiant with him. I was trying to make him angry and make him start yelling at me. But he wasn't listening to the emotion I was giving him. So he just kept doing the same thing he'd already decided his character should do. Do you understand the difference there?
But it's just straightforward, makes no sense.
Exactly. But a lot of actors and your own mind will tell you to do that rather than listen and respond. So it's something you really have to work on. That little trick I showed you guys where you're just saying one word. Now, quite literally, that word could be in English, it could be in Mandarin, it could be any word. It could
Chinese.
be gibberish.
Or
It
Chinese.
could mean absolutely nothing. As long as you're practicing listening to the emotion the person gives you. So honestly, it's a good exercise with your friends, if they're into acting and performance and stuff. If you're at class and you just have some spare time, pick a random word. And then have a conversation with your friend using only that word. And see what kind of emotion you can give each other.
One time I saw a movie in Shanghai, and I think it was something called, I don't know.
Blah, blah, blah.
But there was one person acting two people.
It can be very difficult. There's actually a girl on a show on Amazon right now who's playing 13 different characters. She's playing clones, and they are a clone. A clone is when they scientifically copy a human being.
Like, he's a mustache.
It's very domestic. But she's playing 13 different roles.
Yeah.
That's a very, for an actor, I watch her doing it and I go, I don't know how she does it. It's amazing. She's one of the most talented actresses I've ever seen. But again, that's not anything you guys will have to worry about at first. Keep it basic at first. All they're gonna ask you to do is be a kid. Now they may want you to be in a scene where you have to be angry or you have to be happy. But again, if you just listen to what the other actors are giving you, if you just listen and respond how you normally would. If your brother was being mean to you, you'd know how to respond. You'd respond naturally. That's what you want to learn to do when you're reading your lines. And the only way you can do that is just practice. That's really all there is. You practice little exercises like I showed you. And like I said, the most important thing is the memorization of your lines. Because if you can remember everything without having to think about it, your body and your mind will let you just respond naturally. Sweetie, I need you to be quiet, okay? They can't hear me. So that's really the more, like I said, the most important thing is listening. So if you can memorize everything without any emotion, like I said, and that takes a lot of practice. You guys got to work at it. And I worked with my mom probably every day after school. I went to school. But every day after school, I would rehearse lines with my mom. We would drive to auditions. Her and I would run lines in the car. And we would just read them over and over and over until I could memorize everything. Now, that was one of the things that made me successful as a kid actor, was that I didn't have to think.
Actor kid person?
I started acting when I was 5.
What? Who's acting?
I did my first 2 movies when I was 7. And by the time I was 8 and a half, I was on a TV show called Growing Pains, which was on ABC.
Wait,
It was Channel 7.
you were 8 years old when you were
I did Growing Pains from the time I was 8 until I was 15. And I was very successful as a kid because I was able to listen and because I was able to memorize so well. I didn't have to think about it. And that's all I was playing. I was playing a kid. I was playing a kid around my age. So why was I good at it? Because I was able to just be a goofy kid.
Goofy kid?
Absolutely.
Goofy.
That was me. And the more you can be yourself, the more they'll remember you. And the more they'll want to use you and work with you. And the more you can just relax. Don't worry about it. Trust me, there's another audition around the corner. There's another part. There's another, There's never a reason to stress yourself out over it. Loosen yourself up. Take some deep breaths. Go over your lines. But don't stress about it. Okay? Now, normally, you'll have a couple of days, maybe 3 or 4 days, to learn your lines before an audition. They don't always expect you to memorize everything in the first couple of days. Here's, sweetie, pay attention. Here's a big tip, because when you go on an audition, whether it's for a TV show or a play or anything where they're going to have you read a scene, they're going to give you that scene. Now, don't stare at the lines.
Stare at the camera.
At the camera or at the person that you're working with. Because you want to pay attention to them while they're talking. You don't want to be looking down, waiting for your line, waiting for your line.
Like video games.
Exactly. The best thing you want to do is pay attention, listen just like you would if someone was talking to you, and then when it's your turn to respond, take a little breath, look down and find your line, look back up, and say it. Okay?
Normal
But
emotion.
if you're just sitting down here and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're talking and you're not giving them anything, then they can't see how you're responding to them. They can't see how you're reacting to their lines and their words. And that's what they want to see. Yes, Ashley?
I remember when I was a little kid, I went onto a speech, and I remember I just used to hold the paper in front of my face and read it like that. But then on my next door, I put it down here, and every time I needed to look at it, I just went, ooh.
You did a quick glance down. That's what you'll learn to do when you're reading lines. Yes.
One time, when I first came, I was kind of confused because I can't find my line, so I keep finding it, and then I found it, but they already finished it.
It happens sometimes, but when you're working on it or an audition, they'll give you time to look down and find your line. So it'll be okay. One trick that I used to do is I always just kept my thumb near the part of my line on the
That's
page.
what I do when I read and have to go to the bathroom.
That's what I do when I was reading my lines in an audition. Because that way I can still pay attention to them and kind of really listen to what they were saying, and then go back and find my line and try and deliver it as naturally as possible. Okay? Beyond being natural, as a kid, that's all they want from you. That really is. That's the best thing you can do, is be your adorable, cute, fun, young self. Trust me. Now, you want to be professional, and when you get on a job, trust me, they expect you to work. A job is a job, and they will want you to behave and work when it's time to work. But it's a very fun business, and you guys, if you love it, you'll enjoy the heck out of this. Trust me.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would you rather have a dream job and get low pay, or have a job you hate and get high pay?
I have been in this business long enough to know that I would like to have a job that I love. Now, a lot of money I would never turn down, trust me. It makes life easier, and that's great. But I love this business. That's the only reason I'm still in it. It's a hard business sometimes, especially when you get older. It's a lot easier when you're younger. It's a fun business when you're young. The more you guys practice, I'm not kidding, just the little things I showed you, I know it may seem simple, but even just that little repeating back and forth. And another trick you can try is ask your parent or your coach or your friend, whoever you're working with or whoever you're reading lines with or rehearsing with or practicing with, have them ask you a question, okay? Think about what they asked you and respond to them by asking another question.
I know. What?
So, ask me, let's see.
How do you do?
Ask me what the best type of food is.
Fries.
Do you mean fast food or restaurant food? See?
Fast food.
Okay. But you see what I did there? I thought about what you said for a second and came up with a question that made sense. It forces your brain to listen and think about the words that the person said to you.
Yeah, and then I can ask another question.
my brother.
What kind of?
It's not like my brother who I ask him what kind of ice cream he likes, then he says, are the clouds white?
Wait, he said what?
And I asked him what kind of ice cream he likes, then he said, are the clouds white?
Not a relevant question, but yes, that was a question back. But that's another good little practice thing. Have whoever you're working with ask you a random question. And then think about what they asked you and think about how you can respond
With a
with the
question.
question. And it's just a little tool that makes your mind think about what they're doing and how to respond best. So again, these are just little techniques that you can practice anytime that'll make you better and better at being a natural actor, at being able to respond more naturally. Okay? So you want to try it? So, ask me a question.
Yo, what's up, dude?
A different kind of question.
No, that's an easy one because my natural response is,
Guy's up.
oh, what's up with you?
Don't do this.
But you see what I mean? That's it. You don't have to respond with something quickly. You don't have to come up with just anything. Really let your brain think about the question they asked you and how you can ask a question back.
Can I restart?
Just a second. So, like I said, that and the saying the same word back and forth are two of the best little techniques that I can give you. You can practice them anywhere. You can practice them with anyone. Okay? The one thing you want to remember with the same word is try not to think about it. Don't think about how you should respond. Don't think about how it should sound. Listen to the tone of their voice when they say it to you. Listen to the emotion they give you. And just let yourself respond naturally. And I'm telling you, I have had a full 5-minute conversation with somebody when we're practicing this, saying the same word over and over and over and over and over. And when we got done, we both knew what we were talking about. That's how good you can get at it if you practice a lot. And it's a matter of being able to read people's emotions and read their feelings that they're giving you. You understand?
Makes sense.
Okay. The more you practice it, the better you get at it. The more relaxed and the more calm you can get when you're doing it, the better you're going to get at it. So,
Personal space, bro.
do you guys have any questions?
No.
Yes, bud.
Yo, what's up?
I don't know. What's up with you? The sky, the moon, that picture.
Oh, that looks good.
So, can I ask a question? Have any of you ever done an audition?
I have.
You have?
Talent show.
A talent show? Did they have you read any lines, or did you sing or dance?
I did.
You danced?
I did a somersault.
Nice. Has anybody ever done one where they gave you lines to read or a script or anything?
Speech.
Me. We have to. It's like all the years like people don't have TV.
We're
They
almost done,
just
sweeties.
they just hear from them like everybody has a line like a half artist and the artist thingy like before like sound effects and just saying lines without any picture. Just like I was one of the artists, like the artist is like making the sounds, and half artist is saying the script, reading the script.
The more you can learn, like I said, that's what made it so easy for me. That's what made it so easy for me as a kid, was I had the ability to memorize my lines very easily. So it was very simple for me as a kid to be able to learn to respond. Now I still had to learn to do it, but that was one of my strengths as a kid actor, was that I could just kind of be a normal kid. So I recommend that you guys will practice that stuff. If this is what you want to do, practice that with your parents, practice it with your friends who are in wanting to do it with you, if they're in classes or if they're in entertainment too. But anybody who's willing to work with you on that, practice those little techniques, and the more comfortable you get with it, the better you're going to be, I guarantee it. Now, before we wrap up, I want to try a little something, okay?
Yep,
What I'm going to do is, I'm going to have each of you stand up
In front
in front of all of us, and I'm going to ask you each a question. No, just one at a time, but I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's going to be a different question, most likely for most of you. I just want you to listen to what I ask, really think about it, and give me a response. You don't have to be all bubbly, you don't have to be all crazy. Just give me a natural response, however you feel. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'm so natural that I'm too natural.
You said you like to go first, Ash.
No, I never did.
You said so?
Wait, what? I like to go second. Oh my god. I like to go first and second.
Oh my goodness, I can
So first things first, what did I tell you about before you go on audition or anything? Listen up.
see.
Okay, I need you girls to be quiet for this part, okay? Okay, so just think about what I say and give me. What's your favorite subject in school?
What's yours?
Very good, I like that. Okay. Now, I want you to actually give me an answer to the question. Don't respond to the question. Think about the actual question. What's your favorite TV show?
I don't watch it.
All right, that's a good answer. That's no, that was a natural response. You thought about it and you gave me a natural. I don't watch TV. I don't know. That was perfect. That was a real response. That's all I'm looking for. The more you practice that kind of stuff, the more you can just listen to if I came in and I said, Ashley, why are you late for school today?
Because I had to take my brother.
There you go. And you gave me a little attitude with it because I was getting aggressive with you. That was good listening. Okay? All right, good job. All right, Felix, let me try that.
No! Oh! You hit my ball again! Where is my... It's supposed to be... I kicked it to him and then he threw it over there. What the heck? I stitched yours and mine together.
Okay, guys, we're almost done.
I can't get up.
All right.
I need to sit.
Come back here!
Felix, if you could fly anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I'm scared of heights!
So you don't want to fly?
Yes!
Okay. If there's anywhere in the world you could go without having to fly, where would it be?
China. You've been in China a million times. I don't care. I still want to go to China.
Good job, buddy. Good listening. Derek, you want to try? We're almost done.
Get up from the mirror, lady.
Derek, what's your favorite animal at the zoo?
Unbelievable.
Okay. Derek, do you prefer listening to music or reading books?
Reading books.
Why is that?
I like books.
Like me!
You like the adventure and the story?
Yeah.
I like mystery ones.
Tell me what?
Tiny what? Look at these things.
Do you find that you get to experience things in places you couldn't do otherwise? Read about places you've never been and things you've never gotten to do. Awesome. Very good listening. You see how you kind of got a little nervous there at the end because you didn't know what to say? That was natural. That's okay. That's good. Okay, Felix, do me a favor and sit down. Anybody else want to try it? You haven't got to try it. No more hitting.
No more hitting much.
I'll take off the shoe.
Why take off the shoe?
Because I smack butts with it. That's what my grandma used to do.
Yeah, that's what my mom.
Okay, quiet guys. Guys, we're almost done. I know. I need you to be quiet so everybody can get a chance. You had your chance and you had your chance. I need you to be quiet while they're doing theirs. What's your favorite type of music? Who's one of your favorite singers? Nice. So you like dance music more, or
She does ballet.
like pop and hip? Yeah. And you do ballet? Okay, here's a follow-up question for you then. So how long have you been doing ballet? 10 years. Do you ever dance on point? How long did it take you to learn before you were first able to do it?
Like, walk on like
2 or 3 days? That's pretty good. Very good. That was honest. That was natural. You started getting a little uncomfortable because we were talking a little long. That's real. That's wonderful. That was a really good job. Anybody else want to give it a try?
Eleanor.
Okay.
I almost laugh like this for the rest of my life.
First, check it out. Loosen up. Okay.
I need to get scissors and cut my shoe off because I really need to get it off. My shoe came out of the top. What? And I can't get it off.
Sweetheart, would you come help her while we're finishing up?
Me too. I saw the weird.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, I'm a bad person.
Yes, you are. Okay, we're almost done, guys.
Oh yeah.
Okay, sweet. So, if you could have any job in the world, what would it be?
I'm not.
Huh?
I'm not.
You don't know? If you never thought about being an astronaut or a ballerina or a rock star or
Dance.
Dancer.
a dancer? Okay. Remember when they're speaking to you and they're doing audition stuff, you gotta speak up a little bit, okay?
Stop being fearless.
There you go. That's what I want. That's what I want. Okay, how about this? Guys, settle down for a second. Okay. What is your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Math.
You traitor.
She likes math. I love it.
I
Okay,
like
so
science.
what do you like about
I
math?
don't like math.
I love math.
I hate
Numbers.
math. Except for addition.
You like how all the numbers make sense when it's all done?
Oh, the number makes sense.
Awesome. That was very good at first, but you started hamming it up a little, right? So you weren't listening to what I was saying. So practice that so you can listen to the question and just respond like you would if your mom and dad were asking you something, or your brother, or your friends, or anybody. You just want to be as natural as possible.
Ooh.
Anybody else like to try? Would you like to try, sweetie? Okay. I need you guys to be real quiet, okay? Guys, this is the last one. Guys, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you try?
What to ask? What to ask?
Me. Ooh. I'm telling you, Mom.
Jenny, do you have any brothers and sisters?
I'm doing that.
How many do you have?
One.
One? A brother or a sister?
Sister.
How old?
This is how we do ballet.
So she's older than you. You guys get along?
We do ballet sometimes.
Sometimes. Very good. You just responded. That was absolutely perfect. That was natural. You are a totally authentic kid. That's what you're going for. Good job. I know it seems simple, but practice it. The more you can just feel comfortable doing silly, goofy, plain, basic things like this, the more natural you'll be when you come in and you audition for somebody who wants to give you a role. Okay?
I like that, like this.
Are we good. Anybody have any questions,
I'm
guys?
crazy.
Besides, are we done yet? Anybody?
Not me.
Okay, well, I'll update you guys.
I have a
Do
question.
me a favor, practice this stuff this week before the competition next week for the semifinals, okay? Just practice a little at home.
Okay,
Practice
look,
with your
can
mom
I
and
do
dad,
it?
practice with your brother or sister, practice with your coach, but give it a try this week a few times and see if you can feel a little more comfortable and a little more natural.
Oh my god!
Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun and I hope you guys got a lot out of it. Please practice what I showed you and I guarantee it will make a big difference.
Bye bye.
Okay?